Hello and welcome to another video, and I actually haven't got the new cable or anything. I plugged it all in just to test something and managed to fix it, and I can even do this live now the way that I usually do it and actually have the microphone in, which says that it is spiking in volume because of course I usually have that actually on lower decibels just because I know fine well that I talk loud, and I've had to actually change it so that it's an actual microphone input. So give me a second while I just adjust some audio there. But yeah, today's video is going to be about A Link Between Worlds, and I am so fucking over the moon right now that I've just actually managed to fix this because finally this is the kind of break that I have needed with all of the tech issues. I know the footage is still going to be a little choppy, I know the footage is still not going to be perfect, I still have the most mediocre Wi-Fi where I live. My actual cable Ethernet connection is amazing, so I might need to try using my PC as a hotspot at some point, but all I know is I'm talking about behind the scenes stuff again instead of the actual video, so let's get on with this. Today's episode, I am going to be talking about Link Between Worlds, and as part of the Zelda 40th anniversary, because I don't know if you know this, Nintendo doesn't seem to know this, this is where on Tuesday they do a Nintendo Direct and suddenly they actually do acknowledge the 40th anniversary, but Nintendo don't seem to know this. It's Nintendo's 40th anniversary, and because of that I've been replaying a bunch of old Zelda games, so ones that I've either only played once, ones that I've never actually got around to finishing. At some point I need to do a Minish Cap. I seriously have I've started that game so many times, and by the time I do the first dungeon I always bounce and I don't know what it is. I really don't, because I love Capcom's Zelda games, usually Oracle of Ages and Seasons, but I just cannot get away with Minish Cap for some reason. But on top of replaying some that I haven't really played and playing some that I've never played, although I don't know if I'm going to do Triforce Heroes, I never had anyone to play that with, and I've heard it's absolutely awful one player. A Link Between Worlds was one that I really wanted to replay, because I didn't particularly like this game, and I need to go through a lot of stuff here. I am definitely going through a journey with this game at this moment in time. Part of why I didn't like A Link Between Worlds when it came out, I love A Link to the Past, and this just it felt like getting a weird Master Quest instead of an actual new Zelda game. And on top of that, I didn't really like the mechanic of blending into the walls. I don't actually have it here on this file. I'm currently replaying the game on my other DS, and I've just literally entered Lorule at the moment, so I know at this moment in time I haven't even beat the first dungeon, I believe. I've basically been running around while setting stuff up. I got the bow, so to be fair, I should actually be heading to the dungeon thinking about it. But yeah, I thought it felt a bit like a Master Quest thing. I didn't really enjoy the going into the walls because most of the puzzles felt really simplistic around it and not really anything that... I mean, I honestly can't remember any mainline puzzle where I was like, oh my god, that was an amazing use of the blending into the walls and going 2D. A lot of it was usually the kind of puzzle that my visually impaired ass would miss, like the queue, and I'd just sit there getting a little frustrated, and sometimes I'd completely forget that the mechanic even existed because it really is kind of nothing to me. Add to that the fact that when you start the game, you can buy all of the stuff at the start. Like, part of the brilliance of Zelda, as much as a lot of people, and I am definitely one of them, got sick of, oh, it's the bow dungeon, it's the hookshot dungeon, all of that, still going into the game, not knowing fully what items you're going to get, not knowing what dungeon order you're going to get them in, added a little bit of mystique to it. The fact that to start this game, every time I've done a playthrough, you earn rupees so fast that I've been able to buy everything. So, like, you know, at the start I've got basically a lantern, the fire rod, the ice rod, the bow, the hookshot, the wind rod thing, the bombs, I can't even remember everything that you get at the start, but I had all of it every time I've played through the game so far, even on this second playthrough, because it's not hard to get that many rupees. And the risk is supposed to be that when you faint and you get knocked out, then you lose all of your rupees. Sorry, not your rupees, you lose all of your stuff, your rentals, and you have to rent them again. I'm not, you know, bad at Zelda. I'm pretty good at the 2D Zelda games, the old school ones. I just don't faint in this, and even if I do, I've usually got fairies in bottles to protect me from that, so I never ever lost my items. So it just meant that from the start of the game, I had half of the things, and it felt like I was playing on a weird randomizer Master Quest thing, where I'm like playing a map that I know, but things are different, and as I say, there's just so much that I really wasn't that in love with it, and for the longest time so many people have constantly went on about how this is one of the best 2D Zeldas, and I wanted to replay it because I wanted to see if I could finally get into it, and weirdly it does still have all of those same issues, and some that I forgot to mention, like how your items are magic based and you can basically spam arrows as long as you've got magic, but that means at the base level you've only got 4 arrows before you have to just sit and wait. Like, there's loads of little things like that, little complaints that I actually have over it. But despite all of that, I'm actually really enjoying it a lot the second time, and I don't know if it's just this weird brain thing that happens with people, that's a known occurrence where if a movie disappoints you, the second time you watch it, you'll actually enjoy it more. And that tends to happen with a lot of different media, and I wonder if that's what's happening to me with Link to the Past. Sorry, A Link Between Worlds now. That instead, I was going into it not so much with the full hype of, oh my god, I can't believe we're like getting in A Link to the Past sequel type thing. I was happy with what this was. Like, in theory, I was happy with, oh yeah, so it's kind of like a second quest type thing. I thought it would be fine, and I didn't enjoy how it played. I didn't enjoy the... You can go to the dungeons in any access, like any order type thing, sounded on paper like a really good thing. And obviously, they definitely expanded on the idea with Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and they definitely fine-tuned it. But the way it works in this one, I didn't really enjoy it that much either. But at this moment in time, on playthrough 2, I've really been having a lot more fun. I've been appreciating the stuff that I didn't appreciate the last time. So I know fine well the combat is actually pretty fluid, and I really like how it feels. I like how it looks. I like how there's a lot of the side characters from old games that weren't in this one. So like, you'll see characters from Ocarina, and the Majora's Mask is actually in your house at the start of the game. You will see a bunch of things that weren't in this version of Hyrule at any point, and adding that the story I thought was brilliant with how they did it with Lorule and Hilda and Ravio, and I love Ravio. I love Bun Buns anyway. The whole fact that all your items have Bun Buns on them until you end up buying them, which again, the buying them part, when that turns out to be like your kind of reward, that you can, after renting them for a certain amount of time, you can then pay them off and actually buy the items. It means that you're having to really constantly search for rupees all the time. I didn't really enjoy that as much, but on the second playthrough, because I knew that going in, it's just accepted. It's more like when I know I'm going to replay a game and I've got some grinding, I can accept the grinding. I think it only took me by surprise, essentially. Like, it was only a sour taste in my mouth because it took me off guard the first time I played it. I'm like, oh, I was not expecting to have to grind thousands upon thousands upon thousands of rupees as if I'm playing Wind Waker and trying to get Triforce charts, you know? There's all of those little things that they're not really bothering me that much, despite the fact that there were huge deal breakers for me the first time I played it. And I may be talking like I absolutely hated the game. I didn't hate the game. I still finished it. I went all the way through it. I played it. I enjoyed it enough. It was just one that I'm like, that was utterly mid. And I maybe would have placed it around the same era as Oracle of Ages, which might be praised for a lot of people, but Ages was always kind of the worst 2D game for me. Out of Link's Awakening, A Link to the Past, Oracle of Seasons. Obviously, this isn't counting Minish Cap, because as I say, I hadn't finished it and that. So out of the original 2D ones, that was always the worst one for me. And I'd say this was up there with it. I'd say this and Oracle of Ages were very similar. But at this moment in time, the one thing I can tell you, every time I've actually tried to revisit Oracle of Ages and Seasons, I get to the point where I only play through Seasons. And I did eventually start to enjoy Ages a tiny bit more, but I still I find so many of the overworld puzzles so grating. Like, so many of you have to time travel here and do this and that, and whereas the season changing ones felt like they had more thought to them, where the time travel ones just felt more like trial and error to me. Replaying through this, I'm definitely enjoying it a lot more than Ages right now, and it's definitely not going to be in my like be all end all of Zelda titles, but I think it's a lot better than I gave it credit for, and I'm really glad that I am replaying it. This is definitely one of those, I know I've done videos before essentially on second chances, but this is one where I'm really glad that I did give this a second chance, because, again, I don't think by the time I finish it that I'm going to be moving it drastically up my top list of Zelda games, but I'm definitely going to be recommending it to a lot more people, and I'm going to be able to converse about it in a lot more positive light, because usually when it comes up in conversation, it's like, oh, pretty much everything I've got to mention about this is stuff that I complained about, isn't it? And yeah, I'm trying not to be just completely negative and shit on it, because it wasn't a bad game. It's just that most of my experience was, I wish it was like this instead of this. I wish it was like this instead of this. Even if it was just that the dungeons, which as much as I am kind of enjoying them, that's definitely the thing that I wish they really leaned into. The fact that you get all these items at the start, and it's still, this is the boar dungeon, this is the wind rod dungeon, this is the bomb dungeon, this is the hammer dungeon. You know, it's really, I really wish that at the start of the game, at least there, you can buy these 10 items, or rent these 10 items, to be fair, because you can't buy them until you start to actually beat the dungeons. You can rent these 10 items, and I think it's 10, it might only be 8, but you can rent these. The first dungeon needs a bow. I think that is fair enough. I think limit it to one item, limit it to something that players might be familiar with. I think this is a pretty good opener to A Link Between Worlds. But Dungeon 2 and Dungeon 3, where you need the hammer, the magic mallet, whatever it's officially called in this game. I know it changes names in different games. I think it was the magic mallet in A Link to the Past. Maybe it was just the magic hammer. And I'm getting mixed up with the megaton and things. But either way, you get that one and you get the wind rod thing that lifts you into the air. Even if it was just that this dungeon, you need the mallet and you need the hookshot. Or this dungeon, you need the wind rod and you need the ice rod. Give us dungeons where at least there was more than one item being used, because at least that would have mixed it up a bit. Instead, it was, okay, so not only do I know that this is the dungeon I'm about to do, know that this is the item, I actually can't just go into the dungeon and get that item. I have to fast travel back to Ravio. I have to make sure I have enough rupees to rent it. Now, obviously, again, in my case, I usually grind out the rupees so fast that I get everything by the time I've beat this first dungeon. It's just little things like that that really could have elevated this, and it's the sort of thing that if they ever remade it, you can't change that, you can't tweak it. This is what we get now, the end of, this is what we get, this is the way it is. But if they ever did a sequel on this premise, I would like them to expand upon it a lot. And this is another thing as well, Yuga. I don't know how to explain this other than I like every single item that Yuga is wearing, but not at the same time. Yuga's design does not really feel like actual Zelda art designers designed this. It feels like we have to come up with something. Let's just take elements from loads of different characters and costumes and put them all in one. And it comes off as Yuga's basically on laundry day and realised that they don't have a complete ensemble to actually dress into. So it's like, I'll take the pants from this, I'll take the, I guess it's a robe type thing from this, I'll take the scarf from this, you know, it none of the colours really match up, none of it looks nice to the eye. It's almost like, I'm trying not to outright see it, because I'm trying not to make everything about a Pride comparison during June, but at the same time, it looks like someone did a really bad job of designing the non-binary flag. Because it's like parts of it almost look like it, but then there's those garish blue pants with the grey stripe, and it's like, why do they even have the grey stripe? Why is the grey stripe vertical? It's just one of those things. But either way, I'm at the end of the video, and I do at least want to try to show off the whole taking it back, because, again, this is something else that I'm glad that for people who do actually need it, they didn't make it too much of an issue. When I actually tried to record the footage of this earlier, I wanted to make a point of doing this, because Ravio just basically charges you 10 rupees, and then you get it right back and you go back. But if memory serves, again, not that I've died a ton of times in it, and I will have fainted at least once in the main thing, and I'll have forgotten, ran out of a fairy, and I've probably lost 1 or 2 items, but by that point you usually have like 5,000 rupees, so it's like, it's not an issue, and it'll have been something that I just forgot to buy. So I'm not saying it in the way of I never like died or failed this game or anything. I'm just basically saying I think the way that works was never really that deep. I'm really having brain fog here trying to describe it. The way the actual renting system works, the fact that when you faint here, it only costs me 10 rupees, but then later on in the game, I think it costs you like half the item or something, or you might have to pay the item's full cost back again. It just, again, it's the sort of thing that if you do die in this game a lot, I can imagine it adds a lot more grinding, and that would be a problem. But yeah, anyway, finally, whatever that thought was that I was trapped in is over. And I need to take a med, which is what started all of this. My alarm started to go off, so I'm going to say bye for now. I've been Sky Fellowship. I truly do hope you have a great rest of your day. And I'm actually going to go back to my other 3DS and get on with this, because I've literally just entered Laurel again, as I say. And I'm remembering just how cool I thought Laurel looked. Like, 'cause I know it's the whole Dark World side of things, but a lot of the 3D glow up here, I know I'm now elongating this video, but I've just remembered something else that I actually wanted to do as a comparison. The fact that one of the best parts about this was seeing the 2D Link to the Past in this style was amazing to me. And it's why it's so weird that the new Rayman remake that's happening, one of my first thoughts was, who asked for that gorgeous 2D art Rayman game to be remade in this weird 3D model? And then I'm sitting playing this, and I'm like, oh, I mean, I guess that kind of did happen, but also at the same time, that's a 16-bit pixel SNES game, and then being invented on the new thing that became the new art style going forward, essentially, for 2D Zelda. This is, I think, a much different case, because now I'm sitting here also wondering and worrying, please tell me that's not going to be the new Rayman art style going forward. Like, I want a sequel to Legends. Origin and Legends were amazing, but I don't think I want that art style going forward. Anyway, I've been Sky Fellowship. Truly do hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye!